Mario, hello.
Hello, Paul.
So what's going on in the markets right now? The U.S. markets are down around their June lows. So what that means is, the S&P 500 at one point was down about 28%. Then we had a big rally most of the summer, but now we're back towards those lows. And the reason I'm bringing up the stock market is because over the last month, while the market has sold off, I think 10%, cryptos actually haven't budged at this point. Now, Ethereum had its merge and that went through successfully. And that did sell off maybe about 20%. Ethereum did. Went from about 1,700 to like 1,300. And right now, as we're recording this video, Ethereum is at 1,330. But Bitcoin really hasn't moved off the $20,000 mark. 19,000, 20,000. It's kind of just staying right there. So relative to the rest of the market, for the first time, cryptos are actually now kind of just staying there and not continuing to go down, right? Solana's been at 33 now for a while, right? NFTs also, they've kind of stopped going down. So that is a healthy divergence where it's kind of like when I was describing relative strength with NFTs, and the ones that are going down the least should be the ones that come up the most when the whole market turns around. So now that you have the stock market going down and cryptos have stopped, if things do turn around, cryptos should lead that higher, possibly. And that's something we'll just watch to see. If the market rebounds and cryptos continue to just stay where they are, then that's different, right?
So what's an actionable item to be taking right now?
Just to take notice of that right now, right? And to start looking at some levels like you and I discussed last week, where you would go ahead and rebuy these things. So like Roblox is a stock that I liked last year, but the thing got slammed. And so I have a buy stop alert to buy it at 38.15, which it's getting close to, but I didn't have to sit there. Roblox has been literally between 37 and 21 for 5 months now. So instead of me just sitting there with my money doing nothing and watching it, I have a buy stop in now to where I'll participate if I like.
Got it.
I have the same thing with gold, but those aren't cryptos. So those are just some general market comments. We continue to lend, right? So we're still lending on Moonbirds. I think that's going relatively well. We got a default on a Moonbird last week, and then I sold it for a profit on OpenSea, and didn't realize how crazy the fees are, which really stink. So OpenSea takes a 2.5% fee, and then the royalty on Moonbirds is 5%. So when you sell something and you're actually kind of trading it, 7.5% is a lot. It's a lot to be paying, much higher than in traditional finance. You would never pay 7.5% on a trade. So, I asked Anthony today, and we're going to start looking at some other platforms to put some of our NFTs up for. He mentioned X2Y2, looks rare, pseudo swap. So I'll be looking into those this week, and maybe I'll have something to say about those coming up next week.
You sent me an article. Dogecoin is now the second largest proof of work cryptocurrency behind Bitcoin. Now that ETH has transitioned from proof of work to proof of stake, Doge took its place as the second largest crypto by market cap to rely on mining. The original meme coin is the 10th largest crypto by market cap overall. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, Dogecoin is another joke. And it's the 10th by market cap. I mean, I guess it kind of has popularity. Remember the comment I made of like, when you're the first at something, there's always value there. Dogecoin was like the first joke coin. so people still like it. I mean, like there's people like Elon Musk who accept Dogecoin. I think Tesla accepts Dogecoin or something crazy. People accept it. And what I sent you is just because now Ethereum is not proof of work anymore. It's proof of stake. By eliminating Ethereum is why Dogecoin got bumped up to that status.
Got it. Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, look, we don't have to invent things when there's not much going on. The equity markets have been in a downtrend. They're down 10%. Cryptos are holding where they are. NFTs are holding where they are. We're seeing a lot of interesting projects. Anthony's talking to a lot of founders. I've been sitting in on some of those meetings. He went to a very prestigious person's house in Italy a month or two ago. And, we realized that a lot of these people are investing in the infrastructure, which are the companies that are being built around Web3. That's very different than necessarily saying I'm buying Bitcoin or buying an NFT. And so, you know, how do you get involved in those things? That's what like venture capital firms do. But that's where some of the opportunity is right now, while the market's kind of just taking a breath and all the hype is gone. It's cool to just stay involved and plugged into this stuff to see where the money is flowing and where it's going to be best to be positioned once these things do start running again.
Okay. And where do you see it flowing? And it's these VC companies investing in infrastructure type companies for Web3.
Yeah, like the things that stick out in my mind is that like Stevie Cohen's building a derivatives desk for crypto. You know, Sam Bankman and FTX, they continue to buy a lot of these firms that like were potentially going bankrupt and bailing them out, right? Like they're putting their money into actual firms and taking stakes in those firms. These aren't publicly traded vehicles. So like your access is limited as a retail investor to that kind of stuff, unless you invest with a venture capital fund, right? But that's where I see most of the action. And you can see, like, there's a million newsletters that'll give you all these articles every day, so you can see all that stuff as it's happening. You know, there's no movement in crypto right now. I mean, Bitcoin's going between 18, 19, 20,000. Ethereum's going between 13 and 16,000. Solana's going between 31 and 34, and that's kind of just where it is.
Not 13,000, 1,300.
Yeah, sorry, 1,300 to 1,600. You know, Ripple moved up because they have been in that lawsuit with the SEC for, it seems like, years. So maybe they're getting some favorable resolution there. There's a lot of news right now about regulations and how stable coins are going to be regulated. So, I mean, you just keep yourself posted on what the news is. Keep your finger on the pulse, watch stuff. You don't always have to have capital to deploy. Like I just gave an example with Roblox and gold. I mean, you can have cash sitting there with limits on where you want to buy this stuff. Right? Like you have a limit now, I think, on Bitcoin of maybe 25,000. But until then, at least you have cash that you could do stuff with, right? It's not locked up. And if you do want to lock it up, then why not have it earning some kind of yield? I mean, stable coins earn 7% right now. I just looked at the, you can buy something called an I bond directly from the US Treasury right now. An I bond is an inflation linked bond. It's linked to CPI. If you remember, we were talking about CPI a week or two ago, and it pays 9.62%. A bond from the US government, you can earn 10% on. That's insane. I mean, you can only put $10,000 per person into that, but still, great, do it.